Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, January 20, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. One of the quotes that Wayne Dyer made was one of many, but if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. As we go about our lives today, think about what kind of energy you are sending out into this world. Notice how you think about the people close to you, far away, or just those random souls who cross your path. Do you spend even a few moments judging them? Have you ever thought that they are a terrible dresser, too fat, ugly, bad driver, or just plain rude? All of us, none of us are exempt from judgments. We've been doing it most of our lives. Judgments are something that happen to all of us. And it is I guess you could call it a stage that we all go through to master human existence. Because we're literally, all of us are here to master everything. Now, I'm not saying that in this lifetime we master everything and then we're done. But when you give it some attention and understand that we, the gods, enter these bodies for what? What do we enter them for? To experience is why we enter them. To experience physical, material life. Now, we all do different ways. Some of us are, we believe that since we're in our 80s or 90s that we're getting toward the end, right? And others are more enveloped in yesterday and tomorrow. Whenever you find your mind is creating this narrow-minded negative perception about another or yourself, take a quick step back. See who it is that is judging. Well, I look at it as that the ego mind is judging. And it makes a lot of sense that the ego mind judges. And since most of us are under the trance of the ego mind and its control, we judge. Now, a lot of people probably wouldn't look at it from the standpoint that the great thing about judgment is that it forces us to forgive. We get to experience the realm of real love, feelings of forgiveness that melt the protective walls around our hearts and help us to merge within this universe. The power of loving forgiveness is truly transformational, as it can sneak in and heal the deepest parts of our unconsciousness. Incidents from the past, which we've forgotten, yet haven't totally forgiven about ourselves, are released and healed. And when those forgiveness engines get moving, a tiny spark of judgment yesterday may have been exactly what was needed to ignite a wildfire of healing from an issue 25 years prior. I was having a conversation this morning with a couple of neighbors. He was a surgeon for 35 years. He's 78. He is suffering, well, he didn't say it, but I detected it, from Alzheimer's, early stages, maybe medium stages. And she is 80, his wife. They've been married over, they can't remember how long they've been married. But, you pick things up when you talk with people. They're not judgments. They're experience that you gain from interacting with people. You kind of step outside the circle and, you can tell that they were not all they do. You could tell that they just talk with themselves. Okay? I'm sure some of you have picked up on that when you interact with somebody that you really don't know well. And they'll keep you for hours in interaction because they are so hungry for interaction with other people. And so I asked the fellow, I said, how would you feel if you were able to keep all of your memories and experiences in life for 78 years and have your body be renewed? Well, he was kind of like, well, no, he said, God, the God outside of us, has given me, life, and, that's the way it is. That's how, you live and you die. And that's the old way of thinking on this planet, which is understandable. It's probably how they were programmed as young children. And he said something else. He said that, when I was a surgeon for all those years, we had a philosophy: when in doubt, cut it out. I mean, that's old school too as well. Because these surgeons would look at human bodies and say, well, if you have a doubt about an organ or something, cut it out. It's just interesting when we interact with people and how we pick up and how we know we're all connected, linked with one another. So when I asked her the same question while he was busy talking with some other folks, she wasn't able to comprehend it. Her mind was too small to comprehend what I was sharing with her. Basically all I said was, how would you like to be a young, vibrant woman again with your 80 years of life experience? She didn't understand it. She said, I don't understand it. And then she started talking and reminiscing about when she was a young gal working for Delta Airlines at the hotels in New Orleans. So it's interesting how we can view others that teach us, how, in certain ways, how to be and how not to be. And that's how I look at my interactions with anybody. I look at them as a teacher. I don't care how old they are. It doesn't make any difference. But it's not so much what they say. It's what the energy, the frequencies that come from them is what I pick up on. And you get to an understanding where you start to realize, and we get back to judgment, is that you begin to realize that it is an ego-mind control mechanism, that we judge ourselves first and then we judge others. And a lot of the times you can feel it coming in. You can feel that, the judgment thing coming in. You're saying to yourself something, right, about somebody, whether you know them or not. And you look at them and go, how can they be doing that? What's wrong with them? Or why are they so fat? And don't they take care of themselves? But we can get caught up in that. Instead, I don't look at the body. Okay? I don't look at the body. I don't judge the body. I look beyond the body. And of course, we never know what ego-mind influences in this life play upon us, where we maybe, we get too heavy, we don't take care of ourselves, we're too tired, lots of things. We all are challenged often in this life to how to respond to things. And when we pick up on the fact that, well, how do I want to respond to this? Most of us won't ask that question, but you can decide to take a step back. You can say, well, okay, why am I feeling like I want to say something about that person over there? Many of us do it. Social gatherings, interactions, family members, all kinds of things. But do you know how it feels when that comes in from the ego mind or other people's thoughts, and you immediately know that it is ego mind origin, and you immediately know that you don't care to participate in it, and it just fades out. Many of us are in such a hurry in this life, usually the hurry is caused by the ego mind. It's caused by other agitators that we're always running and we're late for a very important date. It seems like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. I'm late for a very important date. And remember, the rabbit was rushing around, had his watch, looking at his watch constantly, was worried that he wasn't going to make that very important date. And that was a depiction of this civilization. How we literally are led by an illusion created for us to master, the ego mind. And so judgment is one of those avenues where we judge ourselves and we judge others. That's why I always say in these meditations at the end is to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. It's not, I don't say it just to say it. I practice it as often as possible. This allows us to go into more of an intimate relationship with ourselves and to love ourselves genuinely through anything. It doesn't matter what's going on outside of us. It really doesn't. It depends on whether or not we want to partake in it. That's the big thing there. It's how we judge it. It's what our perspective is at that moment. Something, you may jump into something at that moment and then turn around and go, ooh, this wasn't a good idea. But it's okay. So I'll experience it and I'll learn. Okay. Now, a lot of people will go, they'll get angry with themselves. Why did you do this stupid thing? Why did you decide to do this? What's wrong with you? You crazy? You knew better than that. And we have those conversations with ourselves. And everything for us is a learning. It's an experience. Now, have you ever carried a grudge with anybody in your life, in this life? I mean, the grudge could be a brother, a sister, could be a mother, father. It doesn't matter. It could be a best friend. And this gal I was talking to this morning told me a story about her brother, just her and her brother. So the parents, interesting, this was a long time ago, they would invest in things specifically so they wouldn't have to pay taxes. That's what her parents did. Now, she wasn't aware of this for a long time, so they kept buying things, investing in things and stocks and all kinds of stuff. And so when they passed, she started receiving checks. She didn't understand what they were. Where's this coming from? So she eventually found out that her parents had amassed a decent fortune, all because they didn't want to pay taxes. And she inherited it. Now, her brother got very angry with her because you've heard this before. Maybe you've been involved in one of them where, you know, one of the children, because of the place and whatever, ends up taking care of it and actually inherits it. And so the other one gets upset because they believe that they screwed them out of money. And so they carry a big grudge. And her perspective is that his judgment was his lack of common sense. Her judgment on him was lack of common sense. His judgment on her was that she screwed him. That's it. Unfortunately, this happens with a lot of us throughout our lives, which is absolutely silly. And so he passed, and she never got the opportunity to talk with him. And so what do we do with that? What do we do? Do we forgive ourselves for that? A lot of people don't. They carry it with them. They carry it with them, and it sours them. There are always positive aspects to everything in this life. Everything. Yet judgment is the main cause for us, 99.9% of us, of our pain, struggle, and suffering. Judgment. It is perhaps the best way to remain lonely. Not alone, but lonely. Because we're never alone. Lonely, friendless, disconnected, and a very low manifesting vibration. The more we judge, the more separated we feel from love. And as our bodies become more and more contracted, like a plum turning into a prune, it becomes harder for us to receive love, more difficult. It is nearly impossible to attract great things into our lives when we are in a constant state of judgment about ourselves or others in this world. Now, people would say, well, how the heck do you break that habit of judgment on oneself and others? Putting a stop to judgment is extremely simple. It all starts with choice. It's our decision. Choice to develop the new habit of loving acceptance and appreciation for others. No one is going to force any of us, period, to do this. It is our choice. And it always comes from the heart-mind. Now, we can't judge somebody, someone, something, whatever, when we are committed to consciously appreciating them exactly the way they are. To instantly shift out of our saboteur's judgmental energy, think of just one thing that you could appreciate about them. Just one thing. Doesn't have to be huge. Now, if for the slight possibility you cannot seem to find something, there's always one thing about all of us. One thing. Okay? So if you sit there and you go, okay, right, what is one thing that I could appreciate about this person or that person? And it's kind of blank. Pull in the fact that within that body there is a guide, a God, divine perfection. Deep, eternal loving, kind, gentle, powerful. That's how you overcome or walk through. That's a constant. We know that. So in the initial understanding, you can't come up with anything, that one thing, then embrace that with them, about them. And imagine your heart is opening like a lotus flower. If you've ever seen one, you can see a video of them online. Pouring out of it are 10,000 beams of golden loving light that is surrounding them. Notice how you feel after you imagine this. Now, this commitment for any of us to always responding with appreciation is absolutely profound. The moment we make this commitment, we will transform our entire lives, as well as the consciousness of those lives of others around us. Imagine what your world will be like once everyone around you is continuously giving each other morsels of appreciation. It will spread to other communities through the internet, eventually around the world. Through this simple commitment, there would never be another war on this planet, and we could all live in enjoying this life in bliss together. Now, I've had this question asked me many times. What happens if you can't find something you appreciate about someone that you're in conflict with, right? Well, imagine something positive is happening to them. Imagine something positive is happening to them. This is another way of giving love. Let's say that you know someone that's having a lot of physical difficulties, okay? Instead of looking at them as sick and despondent, you look at them as vibrant, healthy, and happy in the very moment. That's a way of giving love. The next time someone gives you a nasty look, or that driver cuts you off on the highway, imagine that they just received the raise they need at work, or their spouse just gave them a big hug. Notice how your body feels after you visualize this for them. Then you can easily appreciate them, for they have helped you to increase your vibration in that moment and instantly shift into a higher plane of consciousness. We can, all of us, it's just a choice we choose. Transforming each judgment instantly into love takes the simple awareness of when you are having a bodily contraction and feeling tight, heavy, or uneasy. If you're not feeling expansive joy 24 hours a day, you're most likely holding on to some judgments about yourself, others, or life inside. By consciously holding the intention to become more aware of your contraction reactions, you empower yourself to transcend the judgment habit. Only through awareness can you flip your focus towards the land of lightness and find your commitment to appreciation. Each time we practice this, a warm, loving feeling will move through us. And eventually, it will become our natural way of being and be radiating from our hearts all the time. So you can turn judgment into appreciation and practice that exact action. Now, find a really nice piece of paper. I know this might sound strange, but not just a regular notebook paper, something, high-end paper. The nicest paper you can find, and the best pen, and write out in your best penmanship, not in a hurry or scribbling, but very slowly, I am committed to appreciation and love. Make at least 2 copies where you will see this commitment the most often, such as on your bathroom mirror, or one on your fridge, or by your bedside. This is all a choice. It's about practicing, okay? It's not something that you do it and the heck with it. Each time you see someone that you don't know at the store, the gas station, or anywhere, consciously visualize your heart turning into a golden flower of light and radiating love into them. Simply say to yourself, I love this person just because they exist. I love this person just because they exist. You will be amazed on how this simple exercise will create a huge shift in your life and stop the mind from forming any judgment that may have previously arisen. Surround them and yourself in this golden light of love, and know that in this field, everyone can manifest more love, appreciation, and abundance in their life. Many of us live our lives as an exclamation and not an explanation. While we think that our circumstances are the cause of our frustration, the real source lies in not being aware of our higher self. Here, Viliat. There's 2 kinds of people in this world. Those who choose to live their lives as an exclamation, and those who are living life as an explanation. The first group of people is in touch with their infinite self, and thus seeing life as a constant celebration. They are focusing on how they are fortunate they are to be alive and how successful they are in their lives. They are grateful for and celebrating the challenges that make them grow stronger. These people are supremely positive, uplifting beings who are empowering themselves every day and naturally helping others to feel positive, happy, and free. They see life as a positive, fun-loving experience where they have the power to create everything and anything they desire. The second type of person tends to hide behind a facade of lies they tell themselves. They don't want to see the truth of who they are because it's too painful to look inside and feel what they are hiding. This stops a lot of people from going within. It really does. They've been living a lie for too many years, and to come out of it is more painful than staying in it. They are blind to their inner power, divinity, and ability to see this life as fun because they believe something is fundamentally wrong with them. They use excuses as a crutch to hide their feelings of inadequacy and insecurity and blame people, circumstances, and everything in the outer world for their unhappiness. The main response to others is they say that they are not enough and always have an instant exclamation ready for their unacceptable behavior. Maybe, have you ever met someone who is full of excuses from the very first moment you meet them? They are constantly apologizing for things that they didn't follow through with and having an explanation ready ahead of time for why it didn't happen. How do you feel about them? Can you trust them? The people who are addicted to the habit of inventing creative explanations and justifications are doing this just to avoid feeling guilty, judged, and blamed by others. This is an old childhood strategy to escape being punished by mom and dad, and is one of the most self-destructive, disempowering habits you can do. Unfortunately, this game of explanations keeps these people from reclaiming their true power in this world. And whenever they tell the first lie to another or to yourself, you have to continue to cover up that lie with another lie. And the layers of lying soon become very deep. And you start feeling very stuck in your life situation. This lying habit of continuously explaining and justifying yourself only makes you feel like you're swimming at the bottom of a barrel, paddling around in the mud. The need to hide behind a long line of excuses takes away your energy and vital creative juices that are for designing the life of your dreams. Whenever you find yourself making up an excuse in your mind, notice how your ego is already spinning extra energy wheels around thinking, what will others think of me? It then becomes very difficult to feel and see your true beauty, God power, and how divinely perfect you are, just the way you are. And the big challenge here is breaking past the social conditioning that says living a life of lies and self-deceit is okay. If you're caught in the habit of creating excuses for why you're late or why you didn't follow through with your agreements with others, it's time to look at this old childish behavior and start reclaiming your divine power of responsibility. We can get off this powerless wheel by first realizing where we are playing the I'm not good enough self-blame game. Notice if you are waking up, starting your day feeling irresponsible, overwhelmed, guilty, or blamed about something from the past. We are all creatures of habit. And if we can create the habit of always being late, we can surely create the habit of being on time or even early. We can decide to wake up feeling great about ourselves or feeling like a struggling slug in the mud. We are the ones who are making our life's decisions today. Whatever choices we make today are okay, as long as we are honest with ourselves and conscious of the choices we are making. No matter, even if we decide to procrastinate and be 3 hours late to work tomorrow, if we're honest about why we chose this with ourselves and everyone at work, this radically honest communication can transform our lives for the better in more ways than we know. And when we start taking full responsibility for who we are, what we want, and that we are manifesting everything into our lives, then the highest good of all, including you, you'll transcend every old powerless pattern you had inside. Sometimes we feel we need to justify our behavior when someone is judging or condemning us for what we did or said. You ever done that? You know, you get this big urge to justify. Whenever feelings arise from doing something we think others may not approve of, yet in our hearts we know is the right thing to do, simply move deeper into those good feelings in your heart and be silent. It will drive the other person deeper inside themselves to look at why they are playing the confrontational blaming role. By feeling these good feelings inside, we create the habit of trusting ourselves and take away the power we gave away to others, allowing them to condemn you. If things get heated, simply repeat in your mind that this is all going to work out for the highest good of everyone involved. And speaking your highest truth without feeling bad about your decisions is the best thing you can do. This decision is to trust yourself, is where self-empowerment begins, by trusting yourself. And the responsibility muscle grows strong enough so you don't have to create another excuse again. Imagine what this life would be like if you never resorted to speaking another excuse again. What would it feel like to say no to feeling small and guilty, and instead you said yes to sharing the raw, real truth from your heart, knowing it is the real deal? The next time you're late, try expressing, just do it, express the truth of what happened from a place of love, honesty, and integrity. You don't have to go into all the details. You might say something simple like, I didn't leave my home early enough to be here on time. Or, I decided I needed to finish the conversation with my friend. I challenge and invite you to see how radically honest you can become, and watch how it shakes and shifts the mind of those around you. Sometimes we are afraid that people will dislike us, right? Or turn everyone against us if we speak our real truth and stop giving those typical excuses most people are expecting to hear. The reality is that most of us tend to feel this low vibrational feeling whenever someone continuously disappoints us. And then on top of it, we have to listen to their long, drawn-out victim game of an excuse. What we really want to hear instead is what is honestly going on in their life and how we can help them. We want to know what they are going to do to start feeling more empowered, good enough, and capable of having impeccable integrity with the agreements they make. We all want to trust each other on the deepest level so that whatever agreements we have with each other become the living truth for everyone to bask in. If someday you suddenly find yourself working overtime in a job or a relationship you do not enjoy, and are spending even more time in your inner excuse factory, take the same evening to take a good look, long look inside. Think about who you will be 20 years from now if you continue to remain where you are, using and abusing this over-explaining and self-justifying excuse muscle. What will your relationships, finances, love life, and self-esteem feel like if this became your main way of operating for the next 20-plus years? Once you can allow yourself to see the negative long-term effects that this bad habit will have on your future self, it can motivate you to make a dramatic change. After you've taken some time to see and feel what your life would be like 20-plus years of repeating this powerless scenario, then reverse it. And imagine what your life would be like after 20-plus years of being honest, full of integrity, standing strong in your truth every day. Surround this vision with bright golden lights and notice the great big smile on your face. Feel the heart that this person has, and watch how fun-loving and empowered their life is for them. Keep focusing on and feeling into this positive future you, imagining yourself moving effortlessly into this new light-hearted self with ease. Not worry or think about fixing the old you. Just focus on the new empowered you, and it will automatically replace the old you. Now you want the universe to bend over backwards to help you manifest the dream life you deserve and start speaking the truth at all times in all situations. Begin with eliminating the tiniest white lies to revealing your most challenging honesty in each relationship you have. Each time you meet, share that which is the most real, vulnerable, and true in your deepest heart of hearts, you will find great freedom, power in this approach to life. More than you realize is there. We are powerful manifesting beings, and the words we speak become the living reality. We are living from this radically honest space all week long. Yet perhaps the best result of all is the constant celebration of this life, which arises spontaneously within all our acts, deeds, and relationships, especially the one with yourself. The day you shift over to the foundation of 100% trust in yourself and absolute integrity and authenticity with others, whatever you ask for will show up easier than you could have imagined. Giving up excuses you've been repeating for years is like letting go of a heavy weight on your shoulders. It can make you feel naked in the beginning. Yet as you become accustomed to the lightness of your being, you'll start stepping into your true power, taking your life back by the horns, and reeling in the greatest catch you will ever find, you. When you get and you let go of living a life as an explanation, you begin to experience a deeper, more intimate, authentic relationship with everyone you meet. The people who meet you realize that who you are is not like everyone else, and they treat you with the utmost respect, love, and integrity in return. Everyone wants to live as their highest potentiality. You simply give them a reason to do it. I'll join you in a meditation, and I'll return to close this out. Take an easy, slow breath in from the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. At the very center of you is unbounded, unlimited, untainted, pure awareness. This freedom is your natural state. It will liberate your mind from any prison it's trapped in. Simply bring pure awareness into these feelings of limitation. Welcome the feelings and let them go. It's time for you to relax deeper inwards. Feel how incredibly easy, fun, and amazing your life actually is. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Sunday, January 2-1, 2024. 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you.